for joining me today. I'm here, my name's Mary, and I work for California State Parks as an interpreter, or some people say nature guide. And this is part of a series on how to find and read animal signs and animal tracks. Now, you probably noticed the title, Voracious Predator, or what was it?
Or fairy.
Oh, or fairy, or magical fairy, or both. Well, I don't know if that was enough of a hint to tell you what animal we're talking about today, but if you stick with me, I think you'll find some very interesting facts about this animal. All right, now this started a few weeks ago when I was walking along a riverbank just like this, Kim Cabrera, the bear tracker, and I noticed in the water some looked like tunnels, like little teeny tiny tunnels, and I didn't know if it was a track or just accident or what. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any here today.
They said it's hard to hear.
All right, so let's get a little closer.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear her? We're trying to get a little closer.
The wind just picked up, so we might have a little trouble with that. As I said, I was walking along the riverbank and I saw a whole bunch of tunnels in the sand under the water. And I had no idea what those were, so luckily I was with Kim Cabrera, the bear tracker. I've referenced her a lot before in my programs because she's a source for all this great information on animal tracks and tracking. So shout out to Kim.
Hi,
Thanks.
Kim.
Anyway, so we took a photo, so it doesn't matter that we don't have any here today. And you can see all these these are underwater tracks. And there's the little animal right there, if anyone can see it. So Kim actually snatched that out of the water and put it, let me get this straight, right into my hand. So let's start, oh, hope you didn't see that. And put it right into my hand. And she started saying things like macroinvertebrate and what, naiad, nymph, insect. And my eyes just started glazing over. I'll have to tell you the truth, I'm not really an insect person. Sorry, you insect people out there. I know there's a lot of you. But that's to say I wasn't. I think I am now, though, because then she said the magic word, dragonfly.
Whoop.
Whoop. That was a magic word. And to me, dragonfly has always been associated with those long, lazy summer months and those magical summer nights with those magical beings, those magical, they're like sparkly, brightly colored beings flitting through the night sky, kind of like Disney's Tinkerbell. Well, from what I've learned about them, they're not so much Disney Tinkerbell as maybe Hitchcock or Wes Craven kind of fairy, but they're still interesting nonetheless, and have actually become very important to us, and I'll tell you that a little bit later. First, let's go through your life cycle. This, like I said, is a what's called a nymph, and basically their life cycle is pretty simple. You have an egg, about the size of a pin, or a pinhead, that gets dropped, sprinkled into the water by the adult. In a few weeks, this will hatch into the nymph. And then the nymph or naiad will go through several molts, anywhere from 6 to 15, depending on the species, until it finally becomes a dragonfly. So that's pretty cool, and we're going to look into that right now. Let me show you a photograph first. So like I say, these guys go through several molts when they're under the water, and because they have an exoskeleton. And that's a hard chitinous covering that does not enlarge as the animal grows, so it has to shed it. And so this can take, actually they live most of their lives like this. They could live several years, up to 5 years under the water as voracious predators, and molting, like I say, up to 15 times, until when they're ready, they actually crawl to the side of the water, or up a rock, or up a reed, and they start breathing the air, or what we call breathing. They'll take in air and then they'll expand and they'll bust out of a weak point behind their head and then become the beautiful dragonfly.
Ooh.
So let me actually show you. Come over here. Pretty cool. So aside from those tunnels, which are tracks that you'll see to see if they're in a particular pond or stream, they leave these carcasses, basically these empty shells behind when they bust out for the last time and become creatures of the air rather than the floor of a pond or a stream. And if you look closely, remember I said they were voracious predators. They actually have a little, sometimes it's called a mask, but it's the labium, part of the lower jaw.
Ooh.
That they can...
It's ready for COVID.
Not the same kind of mask, Erika.
Oh.
But they can extend this out, the end of which sometimes has barbs or hooks or spines. So they can propel this outward at very fast speeds, and that's how they catch their prey and then scoop them back up. They could be sort of spoon-shaped, cup-shaped, or they could be folded back under their bellies. This one has sort of the mask cup shape. Can everyone see that?
Oh, wow.
So once I started finding those, it was just like, I was at the side of the river almost every day looking for these guys. It's pretty fun. And like I said, they will bust out of those and become a dragonfly.
Ooh, here, I'll get closer. I had to zoom in to make sure everyone could see the mask. Wow.
So it's hard to tell that scary creature becomes this beautiful woodland fairy-like creature. Now this is really dull. It's actually been dead a few years, so they lose their color really quickly. But you can see they've got 4 wings, and if you notice on, this little guy, the wing buds that start to form in the last few molts. Can you see those little wing buds?
Mm-hmm.
Let me put that down. And in the air, they're only in the air for maybe a few weeks to a few months. It kind of depends upon their species, of which we have 60 species in California. Here's one that Kim and I found that had probably just come out of its last shell. And you can see it hasn't even gotten its color yet. It's very, very fragile, very, very soft. It's just expanded by filling itself with air, and it has to wait until it's hard before it can fly off. They're very vulnerable to predation when they're doing this last metamorphosis or partial metamorphosis. So it's important, if anyone sees these guys, not to touch them because they're really delicate right now. You can injure them. At this time of their life, in their cycle, a lot of them actually get preyed upon by birds and other predators. That's pretty cool.
Super cool.
So you might be at a pond the day before and then arrive the next day, and then the whole pond...
Hold on to your hat, Mary.
The whole pond is then filled with dragonflies zipping around. Now remember I said that these guys are becoming important to us. Well, it turns out they're very important bio-indicators for mercury. So mercury is a substance, a toxic substance. Man-made mercury actually comes mostly from mining and burning coal. And this toxic substance is in the air and has spread all over our world, even in the most pristine areas. And what happens is it also bioaccumulates in the food chain. So you got the plants that are absorbing it, and then the next, I'm not sure, some sort of invertebrate here, which eats the plants, and here's the naiad for the dragonfly, will eat all those. and the mercury just accumulates in their system as you go higher and higher up the food chain. Each of these animals accumulates more and more mercury, which is toxic. And who's at the top of the food chain?
Humans!
That's right. So we definitely, it's something that's easily absorbed through food, and it's something that could accumulate in us, humans, and cause a lot of negative health issues for
We
us.
do have one question for you. Braid Coupling is wondering, what time of year are they most likely to do their final molt?
Well, it's going to depend on the species. Like I say, there are about 5,000 species in the world, and they are on every continent except Antarctica. There's some that do it in the spring, and you kind of see they all sort of do it together, and then they're gone. But then there are other summer species, we call them, that it seems like a group will do the final molt, and you'll see a whole bunch of dragonflies around for a while, and then they'll be gone, and then you'll see a successive one in the summer. So that goes through the summer in some places. You kind of have to know what's local to you. Now, back to this, there is a project called the Dragonfly Mercury Project. And it's with a partnership or collaboration between the National Park Service and USGS. That's the US Geological Survey. And that project is where they have actually found out that the dragonfly naiads or nymphs are much easier to collect and then to sample as far as how much mercury they have in their systems than, let's say, fish or a larger animal might be. But they're also really great indicators of how much mercury might be in an amphibian or a fish or a larger animal. So, and then they're on, like I say, 6 continents and in all sorts of diverse areas. Deserts, there's some that live in really hot environments and all over the place. So, and they're small and easy to find and kind of fun. So what this does uses a whole bunch of citizen scientists. So in a collaboration between the park employees, staff, and a lot of local citizen scientists, they go out to various national parks, places that should be pristine, right? And they collect these nymphs or naiads of the dragonfly and then key them and then send them in to be sampled to see how much mercury is there, and so develop a lot of information and data of what kind of mercury toxicity we have out there. And this will help go towards how we can get rid of it, hopefully. So if you're interested in that, want to be one of those citizen scientists, like I say, it's all over the United States. This is their Facebook page, and this is Instagram, and they have some really cool keys.
And I think Kim just posted the link right now.
Oh, thanks, Kim. So that all over the United States, so maybe you can get in on that. Actually, I think I saw there's one up in our Redwood National Park up north. That's one of the areas. And they have maps showing the information they've already found out. So you should check that out. It's really interesting. And we have another citizen science project coming up really soon. And that has to do with California Biodiversity Day.
Yay!
Our week. And it's coming up, I believe, September 7th. And we're going, on the 7th is our Bio Blitz, and we're going to need a whole bunch of citizen scientists to help us out with that. And using the iNaturalist app. And if you need information on that, just go on our website and it'll give you more information, because we could really use your help and it'll be really, really fun. So if you're not from California, if you go on, what is it, Erika, iNaturalist?
Yeah, you can still download the app and use that for any place that you live or any, region that you want to check out. It's not particular to any place, so you can use that app anytime, anywhere.
And I believe there are, it lists other citizen scientist projects to do all over the country. So you can, I'm sure there's some anywhere on anyone in any state could get involved with if you want to. So definitely check it out.
Awesome.
Awesome. Until next week, I've got something really special for you guys next week. So until next week, I'm saying bye.